Hello and welcome to Horizon Overland. Today is a bit of a sad day for me, and the reason why is because I've decided to sell my square body half-ton Suburban Overland camper. Now, if you've been following me on this channel, you would have seen many videos that I've made on that rig from when I first got it all the way to my last video where I show you my last version of the build. This Suburban has gone through multiple builds. I've always upgraded. It has allowed me to improve my craft because I would practice my new building techniques on it. I've actually taken that rig on many camping trips and overlanding trips. I've done a really long cross-country trip with it. This rig has been my workhorse. It's been the most reliable rig I've had by far out of all the Suburbans that I've owned, and it saddens me to have to let it go. But the reason why I decided that I'm going to sell it is because I did find a replacement, which is another square body Suburban. The square body Suburbans are my favorite Suburbans of all time. I love the way they look, and the one that I got will fit my needs a little bit better than the one that I have. The one that I got, which I have made a video on in my last video, so feel free to check it out after you're done watching this video. It is a 3/4 ton 4x4. It is the diesel version of the Suburban. The best part about it is that it's smog exempt. It also comes with all the goodies that I wanted to put on my own Suburban, which is the custom front bumper with the winch, the rear bumper with the swing out arms, the long custom roof rack, and it's going to be my next project. I'm going to do a really cool camper build on it, and then eventually at some point when it needs major mechanical attention, I may consider a really cool engine swap to make it perform better than it does. So today I am gonna show you my rig. So we're gonna do a tour of the exterior, the interior. I'm gonna talk about the history of it. I'm gonna talk about the mechanical condition of it. The Horizon Overland rig is officially going to be listed for sale. After watching this video, feel free to visit my website, www.horizonoverland.com, under the for sale section, and you'll be able to see all the details on my 89 half-ton square body Suburban Overland. So without further ado, let's get right to it. All right, folks, one last time. Here we go. Here it is. This is a 1989 square body Chevy Suburban. It is the half-ton version. It is a fuel-injected small block V8, and it is a true workhorse. This thing is only gonna have 102,000 miles on it. Very low mileage for the year, and it is very reliable. I'm sad to have to make this video, but the reason why is because I got this guy, another square body, but this one's the 3/4 ton. Again, I made a video on this rig on my last video, so if you'd like to learn more about this one, feel free to watch my last video on it. Back to the half-ton, let's go over some of the exterior upgrades that it has. First thing you notice is that this thing does not look stock at all. This thing does have a really cool rhino liner finish on the paint. It is a light gray rhino liner on the body, and then all the bumpers and the front grille, as well as some of the door handles, everything is black. So it's got that really cool light gray on black color scheme, and wherever I go, this thing turns a lot of heads. It very much stands out and it looks amazing. So let's go over some of the upgrades that I've done on it since I got it. The very first thing you notice is on the front bumper, we do have 2 LED fog lights. Continuing here on the side, I have lifted this rig 4 inches. The lift is from Rough Country. It does sit on some really cool 17-inch Mickey Thompson wheels, and the tires are 35-inch all-terrain tires. We do have the addition of 2 bully side steps on each side for all the doors. And then up top, I do have a really cool roof rack. It is the Smitty built Defender rack, and it sits very nice, very secure up on the roof. Moving towards the back, I have done the dual solar panels on top. Let me go ahead and get up there so you can see it. Here we see two 100-watt Renogy solar panels. They are secured on the roof, and as long as the sun is hitting those panels, both batteries, the driving battery and the deep cycle battery, are being charged. Here you see two rear LED lights in the back. This Suburban will come with the barn doors, which is my favorite option about this rig. Unfortunately, the one I got has the tailgate with the automatic roll down window on the rear. This one has the desired barn doors. This Suburban will come with the tow package. You see the tow hitch. I have installed a little step to allow you to get up and access the contents of the rear. This thing is lifted, so it can be difficult to access some of the stuff inside the camper build, which is why we have this little step on the rear hitch. Continuing the tour here on the side, we notice that the windows are nicely tinted for privacy, but also it will come with Reflectix insulation. When you are camping, lounging, sleeping inside, there will be total privacy and nobody would be able to tell that you are camping in this rig. Let me go ahead and get under the rig to show you the undercarriage. This thing will have a front and rear solid axles. The rear is a 10 bolt. The front is locking, and you'll see here the manual locking hub to engage the front lockers. While we are under here, let me go ahead and show you the undercarriage. Absolutely no leaks whatsoever from the engine or from the transmission. This is a very, very dry undercarriage, and you also see the bones on this thing is very, very clean. Very little surface rust, absolutely no major rust. As far as the mechanical condition of this rig, it is in really good shape overall. It starts every time, it runs great, it shifts great. Both engine and transmission are very, very healthy. I have replaced the front brakes, which includes the rotors and the calipers. I have changed all the fluids, engine, oil, transmission fluid, and filter, front and rear differential fluid. There's one little issue that the new owner will need to address at some point. On cold startups, this thing will burn a little bit of oil just for like a couple of seconds or so. Just as soon as you start it, some smoke comes out of the tailpipe, and that is because one of the valve seals has broken, allowing a little bit of oil to seep into the cylinder head. So that is something that will need to be addressed at some point, but otherwise this could be daily driven. You could take this on a 1,000-mile road trip tomorrow if you needed to. Even with that little issue, it will not stop it from driving. This is a true workhorse. So that's pretty much the exterior of this rig. Let me move to the interior and show you more of it. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the interior. Unlike the exterior, the interior is very original, and it is also in really, really good shape. I have replaced the headliner, and you could see it looks great. It is not sagging whatsoever. This interior is complete for the most part. There are a few things missing, but nothing major at all. One of the things that is missing in this interior is this lock for this center console, and also if you notice on the door handle right there, these two trim pieces are missing, but otherwise this is a complete interior. Very, very clean. This is the Silverado Edition Suburban, so it is the fully loaded. We do have the power mirrors and door locks. Unfortunately, the power door lock does not work, but you can manually lock these doors. The windows do work, but some of the windows, they roll up and down a little bit slower than usual. You could see the fake wood trim because this is the fully loaded model. It's still there, it's in good shape on the interior. All the dials read accurately. The fuel gauge does work. However, when you get to about a quarter of a tank, the needle likes to fluctuate. Here's your climate control. AC and heater work really well. I did replace the AC compressor on this rig, and the AC blows very cold. I have also replaced the stereo to a single DIN aftermarket Bluetooth stereo and CD player. This will have the Bluetooth audio. You could see the lights for the bumper lights. We got switches on both sides of the steering column, and both of these work very well. One for the front LED lights and one for the rear. The automatic transmission shifts really well. This is a 4-speed automatic with overdrive. And here you see the floor shifter for the 4-wheel drive. We got 2 high, 4 high, neutral, and 4 low. I did install a DC outlet with a 12 volt and 2 USBs. This is where the rear camera monitor plugs into, and this allows you to have visibility constantly in the rear because the rear view mirror is obstructed by the reflectix. Over here you see the glove compartment. You could see the floor and the carpet is in really good shape. Rubber floor mats, very clean. You could see the seats are in excellent shape. They do have 2 armrests on each side. Here is your center console, lots of storage inside. This becomes cup holders for the rear when you open it up like that. Here are your cup holders for the front, a little bit of a cubby for more storage. Up here you see more storage as well. We have your dome lights, more dome lights in the back, and more storage. One thing to note about this dashboard is that it is cracked. So it does have multiple cracks. This is common for these Suburbans. As they get old, the sun does take its toll on this dashboard, which is why we have this cover on top. So that's pretty much what the front of this rig looks like. Let me now go to the back and show you the camper build. Okay, moving to the back to show you the build. I did leave one of the seats in. However, the bench part of the second row seat has been removed to make room for easy access, maybe while you're inside, and also to be able to sit on the edge of the bed, but also to create some more storage underneath. I will give the new buyer the option for me to install the second row seating, turning this into a 5-passenger SUV and a 2-person camper. But right now, as it sits, it's a 2-person camper, 3-person SUV. Here you notice we have a curtain, removable curtain that creates more privacy for when you are sleeping inside this rig. And just like the front, the rear is also very clean. Here you see the floor and the floor mat, very clean. The seat is in really good shape as well. What I'd like to do now is go ahead and fold down the seat to show you the build. So I went ahead and folded down the seat so you can get a better look of the camper build. Here we have even more storage underneath. On this side we have a DC outlet and the inverter on and off switch to allow you to use the AC outlet that is located right over here. Here is a little battery reader, and you notice the battery is reading 100% at very high voltage, and that's because the sun is in full force today. In here you see more storage underneath this hatch, and then if I go ahead and reach over and flip this, just like you see, now I've made a bed setup for this 50-inch wide by 75-inch long folding mattress to go ahead and lay on top. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, is lay the mattress and show you what that looks like. All right folks, so I went ahead and laid out the mattress on top of the platform. I closed the door and I did the partition of the front through this removable curtain, and you could see it's very nice, very private. You see the LED lights, these are clip-on LED lights that are turned on, and they are currently plugged into the DC outlet. There's one up here and then also one in the rear. I'll show you that when I step outside to show you the rear kitchen area. The one cool thing about this camper build is that it does allow you to have maximum storage. I've already showed you the storage underneath this platform, but here you see on the side there's a giant storage area on both sides. This is probably ideal for pillows and sleeping bags, maybe even your backpack, your clothing. And then also below we do have some cubbies opening for more storage. There's also more storage back there, which I will show you when I step outside. I've also installed a net up here. So if you're, maybe you want to take off some clothes or you want to get some stuff out of the way, you can just go ahead and throw it on top. So that's pretty much what it looks like in here. Let me go to the back and show you the kitchen area. All right, folks, here we go. This is the rear kitchen area. Here we see the 12-volt fridge. It's a 30-quart fridge, and it is currently plugged into this DC outlet as well as the clip-on LED light that I showed you earlier. This LED light could be moved to the outside area, so when it's dark you could shine some light on the kitchen. Here you see the Renogy 20 amp solar controller. The battery, the 100 amp hour battery, is actually located behind this panel. I'll show you in just a minute the location of it. Right next to the fridge we have two 7-gallon water containers to be able to dispense some water into the sink. One of them is for the fresh water, the other one is for the gray water. The unique thing about this build that I've not done on any of my previous builds is that I have made a bridge that allows you to have a little shelf that you could use back here for more storage. Also, you could store some stuff in here if you want to, as well as on this side I have included two hooks to be able to allow you to strap some stuff down here as well. Here you see a hose coming out of this hole. This is your propane hose. This rig will come with a 2-burner Coleman propane stove, and the propane tank is actually located right behind this panel. It is a 5-pound refillable propane tank. I'll show you in just a moment what it looks like. But here you could see we have dual drawers. Let me go ahead and open these drawers. Both these drawers are on heavy-duty locking slides. You just heard the slides click, which means that these drawers are now secure in place. And we do have built-in toppers. The first one is for storage, and the second one is where your sink is, along with the hose to connect to the gray water. You can go ahead and lift this up and also use under the sink for more storage. On this side, we also have equally long drawer, but a little bit wider than this one. The propane stove will store in here. I don't have it currently, but it will come with this build, and when you want to use it, you can go ahead and set it up top and use this hose to connect to the side of it. In here you have an open storage area to allow you to store more items because we're not restricted by a topper. You can fully customize these drawers. You can actually close them halfway and lock them into place. What I'd like to do now is actually set up the sink to show you what that looks like, as well as bring out the stove to show you the potential setup that you could have back here. All right, folks, so I went ahead and set up the Coleman 2-burner stove as well as the gravity sink to show you what it would look like. First thing I did is actually push this drawer halfway locked, so it is locked but in the halfway position, and this is probably the ideal place for the stove. You could see the connector would go right in here when you're using it. It's not currently connected, and I moved the fridge just a little bit to show you the propane tank. This is the 5-pound refillable propane tank, and it has a nice secure location back in this really big cubby that you see right behind the fridge. And over on this side we have the gravity sink. So the idea here is you use one of these 7-gallon containers that have a spout built into it. When you tip it over, you're able to dispense water into the sink, and then to collect all that gray water this is what we have, is a very long custom hose into the other 7-gallon container. Finally, what I want to show you is the battery compartment. So let me just move the water container out of the way. And if I go ahead and open this hatch, in here you will find your 1100 watt inverter, your fuse box, and your deep cycle 100 amp hour battery, which is currently being charged by the solar panels that are on the roof through this solar controller, the Renogy solar controller. But also when you do turn on the vehicle, the smart isolator option that is available on this rig will allow you to charge the rear battery as well as the front battery. Right now also the front battery is being charged by the solar panels, so as long as the sun is available, you will always be able to start the rig. Let me now go start the rig, do a cold start, and show you the engine compartment. All right, I'm back inside the driver's seat inside the rig, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a cold start. So I got the key in the ignition, and here, just so you could see, it is a very low temperature, so it is a cold start. So let's go ahead and start it up, and you can see it started right away. We're reading good oil pressure, good voltage on the battery, and then obviously the temperature is low because it's a cold start. Let me go outside and open the engine compartment so you can hear it running. This is a fuel injected small block V8. It is very, very reliable, very easy to work on. You could see how much room you have in the engine bay. I mean, literally your spark plugs are right there if you want to change those. And then if you want to get to the fuel injectors, all you have to do is remove the air box and the filter, and then your fuel injector is right underneath. This is a bone stock motor. You could see everything in here is 100% stock. And as I stated earlier, this is a very well maintained vehicle. All the fluids have been changed. The brakes are new, the tires are new. The battery is also, you could see it's new. And then here is that smart isolator that I was telling you about earlier. If you notice, there's a red LED light on, which means that both batteries are currently connected because the voltage is high and the solar panels are charging both batteries. But also when I do turn on this engine, the same thing happens. The smart isolator will detect high voltage and will connect both batteries as well, meaning that this could be acting as a generator. So that concludes the last video tour on my 1989 square body half-ton camper. If you're interested in this rig and would like to learn more, it will be listed for sale on my website. You can visit www.horizonoverland.com under the for sale section, and you'll be able to see it there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Until next time, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.